My friends, it is day 64. We are back for another one. I am Brendan Mitchell, and I'm losing weight. And this is a part of the Losing 80 Pounds series. Today's a lift day, but it's also a recovery day. It's another chill one. If you may notice the past week, maybe even 2 weeks, the videos have been getting a little lower in energy, and that's because I'm trying to. There are things going on in the back end I'm working on. Okay, I make a video every day. And today we're lifting. We're not weighing in. I was supposed to weigh in. I forgot to weigh myself as soon as I woke up, which is like what I do every weigh in every week. And then I decided, you know what? I'm not going to weigh in. I don't want to. I ate at maintenance or slightly above for the past week, and I don't really want to know what the scale says. I don't really. I mean, I would weigh myself. It's not like it's going to cause me mental distress, but I'm around 210 to 212 pounds depending on the day, and it's been that way for a week or two. And we will see where we are next week after I've returned to my like deficit over the course of the next 7 days. When I miss the window to weigh myself, I try not to jump in later in the day. I've done a lot already. I've eaten. I've worked out. It occurred to me as I was about to start the video that it was a weigh-in day. It's all a blur this past week for me. I'm just very busy. But it's something I don't worry about, and if I feel off about weighing myself, I won't do it. It's just not important enough because my calculus on what I'm doing with my body is good. So I'm not too curious about what I weigh because just from a sheer like a level of what is medically possible, I know where I'm at. And sometimes it's not worth just throwing the image of a number in there just to potentially maybe put you off balance. So we'll see next Monday what I weigh. Ideally, we're under 210. I think it's very possible we're going to be under 210 next Monday. I've found that at times when I've returned to maintenance and then dieted like properly for a week, my weight ends up going drastically lower. Just circumstantially, I've noticed that there may be some sort of something you can infer with that occurring, but I don't know what it is. Today is a recovery day, right? Because I hurt my back, but it is already feeling better, which means we're good. Generally, when I hurt my back and I've like really tweaked one of the discs or I've really bothered something that's an old injury, it gets progressively worse for like a week or even more, maybe a long time before it starts to get better. But I'm already feeling better. So today's lift, I did just very low weight, just a few reps of everything. I just wanted to keep my body moving. I wanted to stay lifting and not hurting myself. I wanted to not lay down or sit down all day. Not that I could anyway. I wanted to go to the gym, and I like to, after I feel like I've injured myself a little bit, I like to go to the gym and kind of do everything I would normally do, but just as slow as possible and as low weight as possible. That's how I like to recover. I think that it works for me. I am not going to get into the science of why it does or does not, because that would be a really foolish reason to listen to me talk, because that is not what I do. Let's get into the lift right now, shall we? You may notice that I haven't been adding like the deadlift, like the name of the lift and the rep scheme on the side. It's just because I have like graphics I made for it and I'm not done with it, and I kind of want them to be a little more unedited now because it gives me a little bit more time to talk. This is me just doing like a random amount of reps of deadlift with one plate on each side. Very little weight, feels like nothing. I just want to feel the way my body feels. I want to see if with perfect form, it feels more like therapy, which it does. It feels like kind of like physical therapy when you do really slow, really nice deadlifts. These felt great. The hole under the arm of my shirt is because this shirt is easily 20 years old. Easily 20 years old. It is the band tee to my eldest brother's friend's high school band. So this is a very, it's called Space Bastard. It's a very old, it's a deep cut shirt. How long do I wander? I'm actually not gonna keep the entire thing in here now that I think about it. What am I thinking? I'm like furrowing my brow. Is it bad that my shirts are this tight? Look, they're gonna be tight. I like to have a tucked shirt. I like to feel secure in the abdominal area. I'm very loose down there. Um, how long have I been wearing these Converse? You don't want to know, man. A very long time. A very, very long time. I have to go to an art show tonight, which is why I'm wearing a collared shirt. And this is about the lift. I have to go to an art show tonight, and I'm just thinking like, what am I gonna do when I'm in the gallery with my wife, just wandering around in a circle, just looking at every piece like this shit sucks. This shit's fucking terrible. Maybe some of it'll be good. Actually, you know what? It's for someone she works for whose work is actually very good and very, very good. So I'm actually going to probably like it. But that's all I can think about. Oh my God, I'm just noticing something. The Barney in the corner. So the reason I'm not going to change it. The reason there's Barney in the corner is because during a live stream, we made Barney in the new Oblivion remaster. So you're going to have to catch the streams to understand why that's there. I'm not taking it out. That's very funny. But yeah, these deadlifts felt good. These felt solid. I could have done way more, you know. Maybe I'm being a little lazy, but I just wanted to take it very easy, you know. Just it's kind of like I'm stretching. You know what I mean? I just wanted to take it very easy, feel it out, keep my body moving. The number one thing that hurts me is sitting, you know, or laying down in the wrong position. But if I had to describe the way my back feels, it's more so like right now it's in that stage where it just feels like it feels very good unless I do something weird. If I do something slightly weird, and normally throughout your day, you will do many like kind of awkward movements with your back that could potentially hurt you just because you're not like walking, standing, sitting, moving, touching everything with flawless form. That's just not how human bodies work, and they're not supposed to. But right now, it feels that way where it feels fragile, good but fragile. You know what I'm saying? Overhead presses. I was supposed to do heavy for overhead press today. Technically, this would be a heavy overhead press volume deadlift day. Just want to do some of the bar, feel it out, very slow, take it easy. Um, felt great doing these as well. Felt hard. I definitely don't feel strong, you know, to put in perspective. Interesting, I'm noticing now the coloring on all of this footage is very different today. I should probably pay attention to my iPhone. Something's going on. But these are solid in the sense that got the weight over my head, didn't feel like I was going to hurt myself, um, didn't feel anything in my back. It all just felt very medicinal. I like days like this at the gym. Like obviously, you know, you don't have to go through the strain or the risk, but it's also like there is like a something very medicinal about lifts like this. And I almost feel like I should do them more often, even when my back doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? Um, I couldn't tell if I was still or not. I'm listening to music, which is good. That's nice. Here we go. So, 65 pounds, you know, not crazy for me. I think this is like my volume weight. I think my 10 rep weight. Again, just trying to make sure I don't feel anything weird in my back. Just trying to feel it out. Make sure my body stays moving. You know, I didn't do anything Saturday, Sunday, so it's a long time to not use your body in any meaningful way. Um, so it feels good to do these things. This shirt is covered in holes. Look at all the little holes. I probably shouldn't wear this shirt in public anymore. Now that I'm really thinking about it, what am I doing? My God. All right, here we go. Okay, I did 30. I didn't even realize I did this. I don't even know what I'm doing. When I'm at the gym, I'm not even conscious. 75. Yeah, these felt good. They all felt good. You know, I think I'm definitely at a point where I'm really happy with how strong I feel, just compared to the way I was a couple months ago. It just feels really, I'm really happy with it. Having started lifting in January from not lifting for ages and having a really messed up back, to getting my lifts to, you know, 2 plate squat, 2 plate deadlift, well over a plate and bench. Overhead press, of course, going up slow, but going up. I feel really good about all these things. It's so hard for me to feel negative about my body right now because of just how far I've come from December. I mean, the the degree to which I was physically broken in November, December, September, October of last year, after basically being unable to use my back and just getting worse and worse as an individual, it's really hard for me to feel anything but happy because I feel very strong right now. And there was a time before where I was like, you know, working and I was like bending down to pick something up and I was like, I can't even get up. I'm so fucking fat and out of shape. So the progress in my feeling has been so fast, and of course that's partially because I've lifted before in life. There's an enormous amount of muscle memory at work. You know, the neurological and like nervous system encoding of what you do with your body stays forever. So a lot of this is just muscle memory, even though it's a very long time ago. I just left this in. That's amazing. It's me putting the weight back. I did 2 sets of 15, I think at 40 pounds for these, maybe one set 15, one set 5 or 10. I didn't want to whip the bar up and start using my back. But again, felt fine. Felt a little weak. I didn't want to use the bike. Normally I do a bike, 15 minutes on the bike. Today I did 10 minutes on the treadmill, just at like a very steep incline. For me, that's a bit better. Sitting down is what hurts my back the most. Like right now, sitting is it hurts a little right now because it's just like, it doesn't matter what chair it is. It's this position of sitting is really what triggers my back injury when it's hurt. Look, another chill one, another lift day. We are cruising along. This is part of the reality of making a series on losing 80 pounds, and it's one of the reasons why I am breaking away from the format when I have time, and why a lot of the things going on in the background, a lot of my planning is to differentiate these videos even more significantly from my other videos. Obviously, my idea in my head is to make the lifting videos incredibly polished in the sense of making them more YouTube-y. It will still be me. I'm not going to write a script for lifting videos. It is temporally impossible for me to do that. But I'd like the idea of really polishing my YouTube editing skills and trying to make it much more of like a, hey guys, much more of a sort of classic. There will be edits and pop-ins and a more of a uniform approach to what my losing 80 pounds day X are that will make them much more palatable and yet still be just me being off the cuff, because I think to a large extent that's kind of one of the few things I have going for me in terms of like what the appeal is of watching these videos outside of my eyes, which are, the money makers. And then the other days that kind of trace away from losing 80 pounds will be a bit different than these. And I'm still figuring out how to manage those from the ones that I put a lot of effort into and the ones that I put very little effort into. One of the interesting things of making a video every day is you kind of have an excuse for them to be mellow or mediocre, which is something I kind of need just due to the sheer volume and my own, self-criticism. But I do think that there should be a strict delineation between videos about losing 80 pounds and the presentation should be more obvious, right? The information an audience member would require, or at the very least that I should put forward, should be very blatant, right? I weigh this much, I lost this much, I lifted this much, I did this. So it's with calories, I ate this. Like all of those factors are incredibly important pieces of information for losing weight and for the process of watching someone lose weight. But I barely focus on any of them but lifting because it's just not in my nature to do so. But I understand that from an audience perspective, it's like a series on losing 80 pounds where all I do is talk to the camera about kind of other things or vaguely mention what it's like to eat or do this and that. So I think more focus, the losing 80 pounds being more focused and more uniform, incredibly uniform and compartmentalized, and then the other videos branching in a slightly more severe way. I have some I'd like to change the lighting in this room a little bit too. I wish that string light back there was working, but it's not. There needs to be a bit more of like a three-dimensional, capture of this like office space that I use. I would love to reposition things a little bit. I may have time in the coming weeks to do so. If it feels like things are slowing down a little bit and the videos are slowing down a little bit, it's just because I'm kind of recalibrating things. My intention is to go full throttle on this channel and never stop and just do as much insane shit as I possibly can. So that's still not going anywhere. It's just a matter of finding the correct amounts of weight to put on this area and that area and how to do those measurements. Obviously, for those of you that watch like every video, I speak about this in basically every video, and I'm sure it's utterly infuriating at this point. So I do apologize for that. That is perfectly fair. Ideally, I get away from that when I start to figure it out better, because it's like you sit down and you go, well, I should talk to them about what's on my mind. It's like that's what's usually on my mind when I make these videos. It's the video themselves. That's a part of the process, it can't all be fake drama every single goddamn day. I see a lot of series like this, and it's like I look at the names for all the videos, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this person ever have a normal fucking day? But I get it. I get the point of why you would do that, but I'm not going to do it. Thank you again, my friends. Have an excellent week. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling blue, stop. That's what my dad says. I remember when I was a kid, I'd be like, Dad, I feel like this, he'd be like, don't do that anymore. And I'd be like, all right. Oh, okay. I'll stop feeling that. Everything's going to be fine. Only upward. I will see you tomorrow. I think this whole week is going to be lift-wise a very physical therapy week, and I think honestly next week we're right back at the heavy shit. I already feel pretty good. Comment down below if you think I've lost my mind, but that's how I feel. Thank you again. Like, comment, and subscribe. For the love of God, if you're, again, as I say in every video, if you're this deep, if you're 17 minutes into the video and you're listening to me speak right now, you still haven't liked, commented, subscribed, it's like, what's going on? What do I have to do to convince you? I mean, every time I get a comment, I show it to my parents. I show it to my family. They don't, and I go, don't you see this? I've done something, and they don't understand. They literally don't know what YouTube is. But thanks again, guys. Have a good one. I will never forget you.